welcome. I must admit that Jukai is one of my favorite reasons for being a priest. Or I could just say being a person of the way of this particular tradition. One of the things I love about Jukai is that it is a practice of welcoming. And this is so core to our tradition, the tradition of the Mahayana, the great vehicle, Buddhism. You know, when someone receives the precepts, in a way, it looks very much like they're entering into a circle. They've sewn a raksu, and they receive a Buddhist name, and it kind of seems like they're joining a club. And in one way, that's true. As people receive the precepts, we say that's how you kind of officially become a Buddhist, like being baptized or something like that. Connects you with a lineage that's 2,500 years old, and with a way of doing things that has been handed down over many, many generations. But this welcome that's at the base of the tradition is not about inside or outside. And so while a person, when they receive the precepts, in a way, they join a group, they join a circle, there's a kind of fundamental conundrum in that. How do you join a circle you are already part of? When the Buddha Shakyamuni was awakened 2,500 years ago underneath the great tree of enlightenment, he didn't say, I'm awakened. I'll help the rest of you out. He said, I, the great earth, and all beings awaken together at one time. So the Buddha's awakening is also our awakening. Whether we've taken the precepts or not taken the precepts, whether we've even heard of Buddhism or not. The Buddha Shakyamuni said that he had woken up to an ancient way. In this case, ancient doesn't just mean old, it means something that's beyond time and space. That he woke up to something fundamental about the heart of being. And it turns out that that heart is a heart which welcomes all beings. And so receiving the precepts is a practice in generosity, receiving the generosity of the tradition, but then also enacting that generosity with our own life. That's what the precepts are, is a deep practice of a generous, welcoming heart. And it makes clear over a life what is our true motivation, and thus what is our true direction. What is our true motivation? What do we go back to in order to navigate? As someone receives the precepts, this is the threshold that they are standing upon. And as far as I know, you never get to go through the threshold and leave it behind. You're always on the threshold, asking, what is my motivation? What is the core motivation of this heart, of this life? What will I do with it? And there's such a joy in continuing to ask that question, rather than simply asking it once and coming up with a decision and then sticking to it through stubbornness. Although stubbornness is also necessary. I think we are in a difficult time. All times are probably difficult. Sometimes people refer to our current age as the information age. I've been thinking a lot about the fallacy of the idioms that we've chosen to organize our life. It's kind of fancy words there, but what I mean by that is, what are the images? What are the things we compare ourselves to? What do we think we're like? Right? What idioms are central to what we think is our life? In the modern age, we've given over to a mechanistic and a computational model of what it means to be alive. With the Industrial Revolution, first we thought, we're machines. We're very complicated machines, but we're machines, and we can figure things out if we look at our body and our mind as if it were machines. And now that we're in the thick of an information age, we think of ourselves as computers, as computing beings, and that's how we'll be able to navigate life. I was recently reading an article called Empty Brain. It's by a man named Epstein. He's used to be the head of the Psychology Today, I believe. He was the editor of that. He writes beautiful poetry, haiku, and dabbles in many different things. It's a very interesting article about just what I'm talking about here, how we've given over to a computational idea of what our heart is, how it is that we come to decisions, and how there's just some fundamental problems with that in the study of neuroscience and psychology, which I won't go into right now, but it's a great article. I recommend that you look at it if you're interested in that kind of thing. In that article, he brought up this very interesting example about catching a baseball. He said, if we were to think about what it takes to catch a baseball, what is human consciousness involved in if it tries to catch a baseball? If we think from the computational side, we think, oh, well, we have to know what's the speed of the wind, how hard was the ball hit, what's the trajectory that it leaves the plate, what's the velocity, what are the laws of physics that are going to carry it through the air, and all more and more and more and more information that would become necessary to determine where is that ball going to come down where I could catch it in my mitt. So one way to think about what does it take to catch a baseball would be we have to know all of that, and we have to compute it very, very, very quickly to come up with the answer. But in fact, that's not how anyone catches a ball. Robotic engineers, for example, trying to solve this problem, they've come up with an interesting solution. Having all the information present, if you could, may allow you to catch the ball in very controlled circumstances. Right? If you could be assured about all the information, which basically you never can be, unless you've closed it all off from the rest of life. But there's another way. It's actually pretty simple. What we have to do is align with the ball. And that's what a human mind does when it catches the ball. It doesn't have all of the information that it computes at lightning speed to be able to determine where will the ball fall on the field and then to put ourselves there. But we're constantly adjusting. We're in constant relation. You see how the computational model takes us out of relationship. Things simply become objects that we're trying to figure out how to get them to do what we want. But that's not how our heart works. Our heart is a relational thing. It's not ours, in fact. We only have a heart because it's in relation. And so when a human tries to catch the ball, as far as they can figure out, what we're doing is we're just lining up with the ball again and again and again. Now we have some sense of physics in an embodied sense, like what's a trajectory of a ball. We've seen bunches and bunches of time. Your chances of catching it and a pro baseball player's chances of catching it are really different. And that's not only because they're an athlete in a physical sense, but it's also because they've had this experience many, many times before. But the process is to keep your eye on the ball, relate it with where it came from, and then to line up and continue to adjust. And you can see that if you watch baseball. That's what makes it fun, right? Are they going to catch it or they're not going to catch it? If they were a perfect computer with all the perfect information, it's not so fun, you know. Now, I'm bringing that up at some length because I think it's a really beautiful story. I'm sure it has some accuracies and inaccuracies in it. But it tells us something about this heart of relation, and the fundamental motivation that in the Mahayana is the welcome. What animates this tradition is the Buddha's awakening, which was an awakening with all beings. How shall we live? No amount of information will allow us to answer that. the generosity that stays in relationship and responds, receives and gives, is able to meet and walk through the doorway when we're called. Sometimes we use the word vow, which is an ominous word for good reason. I really love that word, actually, because it calls us to attention. Like, what do I care about enough that I'm going to overturn my life for it? That opens us up to relation, to essential motivation. So I invite you to be aligned by this ritual. Don't try to hold the edges of it. It will be longer than you think it's going to be. At any given moment when you say, I wonder how long this will be, it will be longer than you think. People will oftentimes ask me the question, why do you do everything 3 times? And this is the reason. Because when you do it one time, you can just do it and you hold it in your mind, right? And you're like, oh, we did that, we're going on to the next thing, right? But when you do it 3 times, you can even hold that for a while, but it starts to break down. And that's an invitation into the meditation on vow, the meditation on generosity, the meditation on the alignment of a life, which everyone assembled here is involved in. Of course, we're all gathered here to support these 4 people, Rose and Darcy and Caressa and Cindy, as they walk through this gate. And that's fundamental. That's a good reason to gather. But as you enter into this ritual together, you'll find that you are also supported. Your own questions about what it means to be aligned through that fundamental motivation are activated. And that's the best part of ritual, that not that it gives us an answer, but that it calls out the question and asks us to look more deeply at the more and more fundamental question as we continue on our path. So I thank you so much for being here. An assembly like this makes a Jukai possible. And again, I invite you to take part in the ritual to whatever degree you feel called to do that. You'll see that people who have already received the precepts will be gashoing at some places and joining in with the chorus in different places. You don't have to have taken the precepts to do that. You're also not required to do that. So at whatever level of participation feels comfortable to you or makes sense to you. I'm not comfortable. Scratch that part. Whatever makes sense to you, then please just enter into it in that way. ongiri vasarumbata, ongiri vasarumbata, ongiri vasarumbata, ongiri vasarumbata, ongiri vasarumbata, ongiri vasarumbata. Undang, 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 umbang, umbang, umbang. Homage to all the Buddhas, homage to all the Dharmas, homage to all the Sanghas, homage to our original teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha, homage to all the Bodhisattva ancestors. I pray that you will all come here as witness. Let us recite the names of Buddha. Vajrayana Buddha Vyudharma Gaya Vajrayana Buddha Gambhir Sambhoga Gaya Shakyamuni Buddha Viryanirmana Gaya Maitreya Buddha Avyujabhat. All Buddhas who have made and time lotus of the wondrous Dharma Mahayana Sutra Manjushri Bodhisattva great wisdom Samantabhadra Bodhisattva great activity Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva great compassion all honored ones Bodhisattvas Mahasattvas wisdom beyond wisdom Maharajya Varavina You will be known in the Dharma as Jiko, direct activity. You will be known in the Dharma as Kashin, lively depths. You will be known in the Dharma as Junsei, straightforward sincerity. You will be known in the Dharma as Kishin, resolute heart. Let us recite the robe verse. To take the precepts, you should first perform Sangha, atonement. There is a Sangha verse that has been maintained by the Buddhas. By reciting it, your past wrongdoings lose their hold on you. Repeat after me. All my past and harmful karma, all my past and harmful karma, born from beginning and mind. You have cleansed your body, speech, and mind, and become pure by the power of atonement. You should take refuge in the three treasures of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. When refuge is taken, the three merits are complete. No santen sui bamutsu senshi nari, no santen sui bamutsu senshi nari, no santen sui bamutsu senshi nari. Repeat after me. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Sangha. I take refuge in Sangha. I take refuge in the unsurpassed Buddha. I take refuge in the unsurpassed Buddha. I take refuge in the immaculate Dharma. I take refuge in the immaculate Dharma. I take refuge in the harmonious Sangha. I take refuge in the harmonious Sangha. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Sangha. I take refuge in Sangha. Now you have left behind your past misdeeds and taken refuge in the triple treasure. From this time, the Buddha and true enlightenment are your real teacher. Call the Buddha your master. This is my compassion to you. You have received the precepts of the three treasures. Now you should receive the 3 pure precepts and 10 grave precepts. 3 pure precepts. Embracing codes and forms. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Embracing codes and forms. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Embracing codes and forms. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Embracing good dharmas. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
embracing good dharmas. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Embracing good dharmas. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Embracing living beings. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Embracing living beings. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Embracing living beings. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
These are the 3 pure precepts. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain these precepts or not?
I will.
These are the 3 pure precepts. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain these precepts or not?
I will.
These are the 3 pure precepts. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain these precepts or not?
I will.
Ten grave precepts. First precept, not killing. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
First precept, not killing. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
First precept, not killing. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Second precept, not stealing. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Second precept, not stealing. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Second precept, not stealing. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Third precept, not misusing sexuality. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Third precept, not misusing sexuality. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Third precept, not misusing sexuality. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Fourth precept, not speaking falsely. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Fourth precept, not speaking falsely. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Fourth precept, not speaking falsely. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Fifth precept, not dealing in intoxicants. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Fifth precept, not dealing in intoxicants. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Fifth precept, not dealing in intoxicants. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Sixth precept, not discussing faults. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Sixth precept, not discussing faults. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Sixth precept, not discussing faults. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Seventh precept, not praising self and criticizing others. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Seventh precept, not praising self and criticizing others. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Seventh precept, not praising self and criticizing others. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Eighth precept, not being stingy with Dharma or wealth. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Eighth precept, not being stingy with Dharma or wealth. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Eighth precept, not being stingy with Dharma or wealth. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Ninth precept, not being angry. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Ninth precept, not being angry. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
Ninth precept, not being angry. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
10th precept, not disparaging the triple treasure. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
10th precept, not disparaging the triple treasure. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
10th precept, not disparaging the triple treasure. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain this precept or not?
I will.
These are the 10 grave precepts. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain these precepts or not?
I will.
These are the 10 grave precepts. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain these precepts or not?
I will.
These are the 10 grave precepts. From this present state to that of becoming a Buddha, will you maintain these precepts or not?
I will.
Maintain them as stated. At this time, in all the Buddha lands of the 10 directions, auspicious signs appear. The earth trembles and flowers fall. The bodhisattvas of other worlds ask their Buddha what this means. And the Buddhas reply that in the world of suffering, among those who are heir to the Dharma of Shakyamuni Buddha, people of faith have given rise to a serious intention. They have been converted to the truth and have received the pure great precepts of the bodhisattvas from the preceptor who previously received them from the line of Shakyamuni's heirs. In a future age, they will become Buddhas through this merit. It is for this reason that the universe rejoices. In every Buddha land, these miraculous signs have appeared. Upon hearing this explanation, the bodhisattvas bow toward you, saying, "If this is so, you are the same as we, fellow travelers on the way." Hence, with all Buddhas as preceptors, and with the bodhisattvas as your friends, you are able to receive these precepts. Their merit is indestructible and secure. This is the precept that never ages and never decays. I pray that you may never lose it and that you always maintain and keep it. Although there are causes and conditions for every circumstance partakes of the Dharma body. How could there be a realm where the precept does not apply? Who shall dedicate this merit? With what and to whom shall this merit be dedicated? Although there is a giver and receiver, the 3 wheels are completely pure. There is nothing to be wished for. Let us preserve our good karmic roots and together with all sentient beings, make a dedication of merit that is equally shared to supreme and perfect awakening. Abiding in this ephemeral world like a lotus in muddy water, the mind is pure and goes beyond. Thus we vow to